Hello students, welcome to the chapter on flow of control. This is the part 6 of this particular chapter. I hope that you have understood and watched the previous parts of this particular chapter. If not, I've given all the links in the description. You can of course click on the links in the description and view the other parts of this particular chapter. So today's topic of discussion is while loop in Python. So at first I'll give you a brief idea about while loop and then we'll be going to the practical examples related to while loop in Python. So let's go towards the concepts of while loop. So what is while loop? It is a conditional loop that repeats the instructions within while loop as long as a condition remains true. Now, as we have already seen in the previous parts that there are two types of loops. One is the counting loop, which is the for loop, and next is the conditional loop, which is the while loop. So while loop, what is the while loop? While loop, it is a conditional loop. That means depending upon a condition, the instructions within the while loop will be executed. After a while loop is executed for an iteration, the condition is tested again. So at first the condition will be tested. If the condition is true, then the instructions within that condition or within the while loop will be executed, and at the end of the while loop, after executing all the statements, the condition is tested again. If the condition is still true, then again the while loop will continue to run. There will be a time when the loop will evaluate to false. As the while loop evaluates to false, at that moment the condition will become false, and as the condition becomes false, the while loop will be terminated. There is a syntax of while loop, and this is the syntax of while loop. At first there will be a initialization value, and after that there will be a condition, and based on the condition the statements within the while loop will be executed. Towards the end you can find something in the syntax which is known as the update condition. What is update condition? See, after a condition becomes true, the statements within the while loop will be executed, and at the end of execution the value of the condition will be updated, and after updating it will be checked whether the condition is true again or not. Don't worry if it is not very clear now, we'll check it out with the help of some practical examples. So we'll see some related programs related to the while loop. Now while loop is basically used for running a program multiple times. We'll see how while loop can be used for running a program multiple times, and then we'll see the factorial of a number using while loop, and finally we'll wind up our discussion with a program on Fibonacci series. So let's try to see how while loop can be used for running a program multiple times. Let's see, say we want to write a program to add two numbers. So let's quickly write a program to add two numbers. I'll write a basic program like x equals to int input, enter the first number. Then what I can do, I can just copy this particular line and then I'll paste it here. I can give y equals to int input, enter the second number. Then what I can do, I can write z equals to x plus y. So the value will be stored, the answer will be stored in z. So finally we can display z like this, like sum is comma z. Okay. Now if I now I'll save this program. Now I'll run this program. Enter the first number, let's say I'll give 8, enter the second number, let's say I'll give 2. So I'll get that the sum is how much? The sum is 10. If I have to run again, I have to press on the run key again, and then again it will ask me enter the first number 3, enter the second number, let's say I'll give 2 now. So it will again give the sum as 5. Now if I want to run it again I have to press on the run button. But there is a better approach to do this instead of pressing the run button again and again for multiple times. So how can it be done? It can be done as follows. So before running the program, what we can do, we can take any variable. Let's say the variable name is ans. Ans stands for answer. Ans equals to, let's say we have initialized it to y. This is the first part of the syntax of while loop. Now what did the first part of the while loop syntax says? The first part says that we'll have a initialization value. What is the initialization value in this case? The initialization value in this case is y. Okay, after that what we will write, while ans equals to small y or ans equals to capital Y. What is the then? See the next line of the syntax. The next line says that after while we have to give a condition. What is the condition here? ans equals to y or ans equals to capital Y. This is the condition. That means the statements within the while loop, that means these statements will be executed till the condition, that is ans becomes equals to y. So these are the statements like statement 1, statement 2, statement 3 up to statement n, and at the end we will update the condition. How to update the condition? We will ask the user if the user wants to run this program again or not. So how can we do that? We can take the same variable which is ans equals to input. Do you want to run the program again? We can give instruction like this, and then we can give like y/n. Okay, we'll give a instruction in this manner, and then let us save this program. Now I'll run this program. Okay, what it is asking me? It is asking me enter the first number. Let's say I'll give the first number as 5. It is asking me to enter the second number. Let's say I'll give the second number as 2, and it is giving me that the sum is 7. After that, it is asking me, do you want to run the program again? Yes or no? If I press Y, what will happen? The value of ans will become y. So again this loop will be tested, and it will find that the loop is true now also, and again it will give me a chance to enter the first number again. So again if I enter the first number as 9 and second number as 2, I'll get the sum as 11. It is asking me, do you want to run the program again? Let's say I'll put n here. So now the condition will become false. Now how this program has been executed? At first ans has been given the value of small y, and after that it has been tested whether ans equals to small y or not. Yes, ans equals to small y. So since it is true, the statements are executed, and at the end what I have given, I have taken the same variable ans and I have asked the user, do you want to run the program again? Now if the user presses small y or capital Y, no matter whatever the user presses, the condition will be tested again. Now if the user press Y, then the condition will become true again, and this set of statements will be executed. But if the user press N, then this condition will become false, because ans, if I press N is not equals to small y or capital Y, therefore the loop will be executed. Loop will be terminated. So for running a program multiple times, you can use this particular technique. So this is the first application of while loop. It is a very useful technique for running a program multiple times. Now let's go and try to understand the second related program of while loop, which is finding out the factorial of a number. So before implementing the program, let me try to make you understand the meaning of the word factorial. Okay, so if I write factorial 5, this is the symbol for factorial. It can also be denoted as follows. Okay, so let's take the first one only. So this is known as factorial 5. Factorial 5 means 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. That means 5 4s are 20, 3 2s are 6, 20 into 6 is 120. Similarly, if I have to find factorial 4 means 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. That is 3 2s are 6, 6 4s are 24, and so on. Another thing to note that factorial 0 is 1. Okay, so here as you can find, the next number is found by subtracting 1 as compared to the previous number. Okay, so here we'll use the concept of while loop for finding out the factorial of a number. So without any further delay, let us try to find out the factorial of a number. So what I'll do, I'll overwrite over this program only. Let me write the name of the program, which is, let's say, write, or I'll directly write factorial using while loop. Okay, so at first I'll ask the user what number the user wants to find a factorial for. So let me write n equals to int input, enter a number to find a factorial. So we'll receive, with this line we'll receive the number for which the user wants to find a factorial. Okay, after that what I'll do, see, factorial 0 is what? Factorial 0 is 1, factorial 1 is also 1. That means what is the minimum factorial? The minimum factorial is 1. Therefore, let me take a variable, let's say f, and I'll initialize f to 1. After that, let's take another variable, let's take I also I'll initialize it to 1. After that, what I'll do while I less than equals to n, you'll get to know when we'll complete the program why I have given this particular condition. So here what I'll give, f equals to f into I. Okay, then what I'll give, a equals not a, I equals to I plus 1. This is the update condition. So what is it? This is the update condition. I've used a single line comment to make you understand this, and here what I have done, I have multiplied it, okay, after updation. Now as I complete, I can display the factorial of the number, like factorial of, let's say the number is denoted by the variable n is, I can, now where will the final result be stored? The final result will be stored in the variable f. So what I'll do, I'll just write f here, and then let me run it. Enter a number to find the factorial. Let me give 4 here. So I'm getting factorial of 4 is how much? It is 24. Yes, it is 24. If I run it again, I'll give the, let's say I'll give the factorial as 5. I'm getting factorial of 5 is 120. Hence it is correct. If I give the number as 0, I'm getting factorial of 0 is 1. So this is also correct. Now let me make you understand how this particular program is running. Now let's pay attention to the first line, which says n equals to int input, enter a number to find the factorial. That means the program is asking the user to enter the number for which the user wants to find the factorial. So let's say I want to find the factorial of 4. So I'll give the value of n as 4. After that, let's look at line number 3. F is how much? F is 1 and I is 1. So let me just write it here. F is 1 and I is 1 initially. After that, what I have given here while I less than equals to n. Okay. So what is the value of I in this case? The value of I in this case is 1. 1 less than equals to 4. Yes, 1 is less than 4, so the condition is true, so it will come inside the loop. Inside the loop, what I have given? F equals to f into I. So what have I given here? F equals to f into I. What is f? F is your 1 initially into I. What is I? I is also 1 initially. So what is the final value of f now? The final value of f is 1 during the first iteration. Now let's look at the next line. The next line says that I equals to I plus 1. So what follows this line? I equals to I plus 1. What is I? I is 1 initially, so 1 plus 1 will get I as 2. Now since I have got I as 2, the previous value of I will be replaced by 2 and the previous value of f will also be erased. So what is the current value of f? The current value of f is 1 and the current value of I is how much? 2. Now after this, again the condition will be tested. Why? Because these two lines are a part of the while loop. Now what will be the value of I? The value of I is 2. So this condition will be tested as follows. So 2 less than equals to n. N is how much? N is 4. So again it will go inside the loop. So what will happen over there? It will happen f equals to f into I. So f equals to f into I. What is the current value of f? Current value of f is 1 into I. What is the current value of I? The current value of I is 2. So the factorial currently is how much? It is 2. Now what we have, I equals to I plus 1. What is the current value of I? It is 2. 2 plus 1 is how much? 2 plus 1 is 3. So the previous two values of I and f respectively will be erased with the new values 2 and 3 respectively. Now again this particular condition will be checked. Now what the condition says I less than equals to n. What is I? I is 3. 3 less than equals to 4. Now is 3 less than equals to 4? Yes, it is correct. 3 is less than 4. So again f equals to f into I will be taken up. Now what is f? F is 2. 2 into I means how much? It is 3. So f is how much? F is 6 now. I equals to I plus 1. This line will be followed. What is I? I is 3 currently. 3 plus 1 is how much? 4. So the previous values of f, that is 2 and 3, will be erased with the new values 6 and 4 respectively. Now again the condition will be checked, that is 4 less than equals to 4. Is 4 less than 4? No, 4 is not less than 4. Is 4 equals to 4? Yes, 4 is equals to 4. That means the condition is true. So it will come inside the loop again. What is there inside the loop? At first f equals to f into I is there inside the loop. So what we'll get here? F equals to f into I. What is f? F is 6. 6 into I is 4. 6 into 4 is how much? 24. And then I equals to I plus 1. This line will be executed. What is I? I is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5. So now f is how much? F is 24. After that again the condition will be checked. Now again what is the condition? The condition is I less than equals to n. Now what is the current value of I? The current value of I is 5. 5 less than equals to n. What is the value of n? N is 4. Is 5 less than 4? No. Is 5 equals to 4? No. That means it is false. Now since the loop has become false now, so what will happen? Since the loop has become false now, therefore the loop will be terminated. Okay, and while the loop is being terminated, what is the value stored at the variable f? The value stored at the variable f is your 24. So what is the last line of the program? The last line of the program is print factorial of n is f. So what will be displayed in your output screen? It will be displayed as follows. Factorial of n. What was the value of n? 4 is f. What was the last value of f? The last value of f is 24 before termination. So 24 will be displayed as the answer. You can check and trace it manually using any value of n. So I hope that the factorial of a number is clear to you. Now let's go to the last program of today's discussion, which is the Fibonacci series. Now before going to the actual discussion of Fibonacci series, I would like to give you a brief idea about what a Fibonacci series is. A Fibonacci series, so we are going to discuss about what? We are going to discuss about Fibonacci series. Fibonacci series is a series of number which is in the form 0, 1, 1. These are the three values of the, okay, if we just take 0 and 1, these are the first two values of the series, and the next value is found out by adding the previous two values. So what will be the next value here? The next value will be 0 plus 1, that is 1. What will be the next value? Next value is found out by adding the previous two values. That means 1 and 1 we need to add. 1 plus 1 is 2. What is the next value? Next value will be taken up by adding 2 and 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. What is the next value? 3 plus 2, it is how much? 5. Next value will be 5 plus 3 is 8, and so on. So in this way the Fibonacci series will be formed. Now our aim will be to display the Fibonacci series up to n terms. What is the meaning of this? The meaning is that if the user presses, let's say 4, that means the value of n is 4. So these 4 terms are to be displayed. If the user presses 2, then only the first two terms, that is 0 and 1, needs to be displayed, and so on. Okay, so we'll write a program in Python to display Fibonacci series up to how many terms? Up to n terms. So without any delay, let us try to implement Fibonacci series. Fibonacci series. Here also we'll be using the concept of while loop. So at first we'll ask the user up to what term the user wants to display the Fibonacci series. We need to display each and every term up to that particular term. So we'll give the message as follows: enter the number of terms till which you want to display the Fibonacci series. Okay, we'll take this from the user. Let's give a slash n here. After that, what we'll do, we'll put the initial value. What is the initial value of the Fibonacci series? It is the 0. What is the second value of the Fibonacci series? This is 1. These two values should definitely be initialized in the program because these two values are fixed. After that, let's take another variable. Let's take the variable as count as 0 because we have not yet started the program. After that, if n is less than equals to 0. Now see, user may give the input in negative, but the input cannot be in negative because at least there should be one term. So if the user gives a negative input, we can filter it out by this condition, like if n is less than equals to 0 as invalid input. Okay, after that, if the user gives the input as 1, so if n equals to 1, then also no logic is required. We can directly display it like this: Fibonacci series up to n term is, so if the user presses 1, then the Fibonacci series will consist only of the value of n1. So we can directly display n1 here. Now, okay, not else, this will be your elif. Now the final actual logic will come within the else part. I have already discussed about if, elif, else in the selection statements part. If it is not very clear, you can just revisit the selection statements. Now in the next line, I'll just display the message like Fibonacci series up to, let's say, n terms. Okay, we'll just display it like this: Fibonacci series up to n terms, and then we'll apply the while loop here. While count less than n, we can give here print n1. Don't worry if it's not very clear now, I'll explain each and every line of this particular program. Nth equals to n1 plus n2, and then n1 equals to n2. Finally, nth equals to n1 plus n2, and then we have to give n2. It has to be initialized to, it has to be supplied to nth, and then finally we have to update the counter. Count equals to count plus 1. This is the update condition, and as it is complete, we can just give ... at the end. Okay, so at first let us run this program. So it is asking me enter the number of terms till which you want to display the Fibonacci series. Let me give the number as 5. So the first 5 terms of the Fibonacci series is being displayed here. Okay, after that, if I just run it again, enter the number of terms till which you want to display the Fibonacci series. If I give 1, so Fibonacci series up to 1 term, it is 0. Let's give an invalid input. Let's give the input as -9. So it is giving me the invalid input. Okay, now let us try to understand this particular program by taking input as 4. Okay, so let us try to understand this particular program. So at first, what will happen? The program will ask the user for the number of terms till which the user wants to display the Fibonacci series. Okay, so number of terms will be taken by the user and it will be displayed by the variable n. Let's say I'll want to display up to 5 terms, so I'll give, the value of n will be 5. After that, n1 is initialized to 0, n2 is initialized to 1, count is initialized to 0. So n1 is 0, n2 is your 1 and count is 0 initially. Okay, after that, here if n is less than 0, that means if the user gives a negative value, then we'll get invalid input. If n is 1, then Fibonacci series up to 1 term is n1, it will be displayed. After that, the main part will come from the 11th line, that is Fibonacci series up to n terms. So if I give the value of n as 5, so it will be displayed Fibonacci series up to 5 terms. After that, while count less than n, okay, so what is given here? While count less than n, what is the value of count? Count is 0, 0 less than n. What is n? N is 5. Is it true or false? Yes, it is true. Therefore, it will come inside the loop. Inside the loop, what we have? Print n1, and then what we have? N equals to comma. That means comma will be displayed after displaying the value of n1. So let's assume this to be the output screen. So n1 will be displayed. What is n1 here? 0, 0, comma. Okay. After that, what happens? Nth equals to n1 plus n2. So nth equals to n1 plus n2. So what is n1? n1 is 0, n2 is 1. So nth will become what? Nth will become 1. After that, what the next line says? The next line says that n1 equals to n2. So next line says n1 equals to n2. So what is present at n2? n2 is 1. So n2 will come to n1. So previous value of n1, that is 0, will be erased. After that, what we have? We have n2 equals to nth. We have n2 equals to nth. So what is the value of nth? The value of nth is 1 now. So 1 will be assigned to the variable n2. Okay. After that, what we have? The final line we have as count equals to count plus 1. So c equals to c plus 1. I have written in the short form. What is the value of count now? It is 0. 0 plus 1. It is how much? 1. So we'll erase the previous values. So now again the condition will be checked, that is c is less than n, that is 1 is less than n, 1 is less than 5. Is it true or false? Yes, it is true. So it will come to the next line. In the next line, what is given? Print n1. So what is the value of n1 now? The value of n1 now is 1. So since it is the output screen, 1 and comma will be coming here. After that, what we have? Nth equals to n1 plus n2. So nth equals to n1 plus n2. What is n1? n1 is 1. What is n2? n2 is 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. The value of nth is 2 now. So the previous value of nth, that is 1, will be erased. After that, what we have? n1 equals to n2. So n1 equals to n2. What was the value of n2? n2 is 1. So n1 will be 1 now. Then what we have? n2 equals to nth. What is the value of nth now? Nth is 2. So n2 will also be 2 now. After that, what we have? C equals to c plus 1. What is c? C was 1 initially. 1 plus 1, it is 2. So the previous value of c and n2 and n1 will be erased because we have got some new set of values now. After that, again the condition will be checked, that is c less than n. What is c? C is 2 now. 2 less than n means 5. Is it true or false? Yes, it is true. So n1 will be displayed because we have given print n1. What was the value of n1? In the previous step it was 1. So 1 and comma will be there. After that, what is the next line? The next line says that nth equals to n1 plus n2. So nth equals to n1 plus n2. n1 is how much? It is 1. 1 plus 2, it is how much? It is 3. So nth is 3. After that, what will be the next line? Next line will be n1 equals to n2. n1 equals to n2. What is n2? n2 is 2. So n1 will become 2 and n2 equals to what? N2 equals to nth. What was the value of nth in the previous step? It was in this step it is 3, so n2 will be 3. After that, what we have? We have n2 equals to nth. Yeah, after that we will have the counter c equals to c plus 1. C was 2, 2 plus 1 is 3. After that, again the condition will be checked, that is c is less than n. What is c? 3. 3 is less than 5. Is it true or false? Yes, it is true. So it will come inside the loop and it will display n1. What is n1 now? n1 is 2. So 2 will be displayed in the output screen. After that, what is there? nth. Nth equals to what? Nth equals to n1 plus n2. So what is n1 now? n1 is now 2. What is n2? n2 is 3. So 2 plus 3, that is 5, will be stored in nth. After that, what we have? After that we have n1 equals to n2. n1 equals to n2. What is n2 now? n2 is 3. So n1 will be 3 now. Then what we have? n2 equals to nth. n2 equals to nth. What is nth now? nth is 5 now. After that, what we have? We'll update the counter. Counter means c equals to c plus 1. C plus 1 means how much now? It is 4 now, because previously it was 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. So again the condition will be checked. So what is the condition now? While the condition is while count less than n. Count was how much? Count was 4. 4 less than n. What was n in the previous step? The n is your 5. 4 is less than 5. Yes, it is true. So n1 will be printed. What was n1 in the previous step? n1 was 3 in the previous step. So since this is the output screen, 3 and comma will be printed here. Okay. After that, what we have? We have the next line, which is nth equals to n1 plus n2. So nth equals to n1 plus n2. What was n1 in the previous step? It was 3, n2 is 5. So 3 plus 5, that is 8. After that, what is the next line? Next line is n1 equals to n2. So what was n2 in the previous step? It was 5. So n1 will be equals to 5. What was the next line? The next line is n2 equals to nth. What was nth? Nth is 8. So n2 is how much? n2 is 8. After that, we have c equals to c plus 1. What is c? C is 4. 4 plus 1 is how much? It is 5 now. Okay. After that, the condition will be checked again. So now what is the condition? C is less than n. So c is how much? 5. 5 is less than n. N is how much? 5. Is 5 less than 5? False. Since it is false, it will come out of the loop. Now at the end of the loop, what we have? We have dot dot dot. So what will be displayed in the output screen after displaying the 5 values? Dot 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 will be displayed. Therefore, if I run this program and give the value of n as 5, I am getting the answer as 0, 1, 1, 2, 3. Now as I have computed manually, here also I have got the answer as what? I have got the answer as 0, 1, 1, 2, 3. Now in this way, a while loop is executed. So we have a initialization value. After that, there will be a condition. As long as the condition becomes true, the loop will be executed, and at the end, the condition will be updated, and again the condition will be checked, and it will go on. This process will go on until the condition becomes false. Okay, that's all about while loop. I hope that this session was useful. Thank you very much.